Welcome to Strong in the Broken Places. My name is Jeffrey Reuter. We are in a series on the 12 Spies. And 2 episodes ago, we gave an overview on what this series was going to be about. In the following clip, we actually got into the story itself. What is the story of the 12 Spies? And in this episode, we are going to talk about the metaphorical and symbolic Egypt as it relates to the story. In the following clips after this, we're going to discuss the wilderness, the destructive power of negativity, giants. We're going to get into giants, the giants in our lives. And we're going to follow it up by mindset, the mindset of the 12 spies, because there was a couple different mindsets at play. Today, Egypt. And I'm not talking about the Egypt of 2022. I'm not talking about the country itself or the people of today. What I'm talking about is the symbolic Egypt as it relates to the story that took place 3,000 years ago. Because in that story, Egypt represented bondage. It represented slavery. It represented imprisonment. It represented oppression. And here's the thing about it. The children of Israel, whenever there was a problem as they left Egypt and they faced one challenge after another on their way to the promised land, which God had fully intended to give them just shortly after their exodus. Whenever they faced a problem, whenever there was a difficulty, the first thing they started crying about was, if only we were back in Egypt. If only we had the food that we used to eat. If only we had the houses we used to live in. And here's the thing about it. When they were in Egypt, they had it really bad. But it's amazing how quickly we forget about the bad things when we're in the midst of new challenges and new difficulties. And that would be equivalent to me today, because I'm facing some challenges, because there are some difficulties in my life. And I just left my own form of Egypt after 28 years. And it would be ludicrous for me to think that, okay, I just get out and there's going to be a red carpet rolled out for me. Now, because there are some challenges, because there are some difficulties, that would be like me saying, oh, if only I were back in prison. If only I could go back to jail. That would be absolutely crazy. But that's what the children of Israel were crying about. And I've actually seen that with other people that I've been around, where they're just ready to throw in the towel, because at least they know what to expect in the place where they just left. And just like the children of Israel, they knew what to expect in the place that they just left. When I'm leaving my addiction and I'm facing those challenges of sobriety, and the first thing I want to do is run back to my addiction, because at least I knew what to expect. And there was some comfort in that, but there was a whole lot more pain associated with it as well. And that's what it's like when we are leaving that thing that holds us, that thing that binds us. We soon forget the devastation of it, the destructiveness of it, when we are faced with new challenges and new opportunities, when we're trying to leave that past behind. I was in a small group the other night, and leaving the small group, this gentleman comes up to me and he says, you know, I really admire you guys. He said, because you guys were in a situation that you had to do it. You had to do it. You didn't have a choice. Well, we had choices before we got there, so I didn't want to debate that with him, but there were choices. And now I didn't willingly choose that, hey, I'm going to do this so I can go to prison. That wasn't the case at all. Nevertheless, I understood what he was talking about, that once there, I didn't have a choice. So it was either I was going to do it or I was just going to lay down and die. And that wasn't an option. So I had to do it. But the point that he was trying to make was this. He said, even though I was free, I was in my own prison of my own creation out here. He says, there came a time when I actually recognized what I was doing and how destructive it is, or how destructive it was, what I was doing, and he continued to do it anyways. He said, I stayed like that for years. He said, and I just don't get it. He said, but thank God that he was able to break free from that. So in a sense, he was in his own metaphorical Egypt of his own creation. And that's what we do. Sometimes when we're broken, when we're in our broken places, we create our own prisons. And my question to you is, are you creating your own prisons? Are you living in a prison of your own creation right now? Even though you're free, are you somehow in bondage right now? And the thing is, in order for us to get strong in our broken places, we need to be able to break free from that. So the question is, how do we break free from that? And the first step is to simply recognize what we're doing, that we are putting that, just like the children of Israel, if only we were back in Egypt. So the thing is, we got to recognize that we're in Egypt, whether we put ourselves there or not, and then we got to come up with a plan on how we can get out of that Egypt. So tomorrow, what I'm going to talk about in the next clip is the wilderness, wandering around the wilderness. Then it's going to be followed by giants and mindset. And I would like to close with this. If you like what we're doing here, if you like these messages, then subscribe to us, like, and share it with a friend. And I hope you have a good day. Bye.